Experts on CFO's Innovation for Financial Transformation Journey. Please join me in welcoming our next speaker, Ms. Seema, Global Head Treasury Insurance Risk M&A CFO from Dr.Reddy's Laboratories. So warm welcome to you.
Very excellent presentation by Mayank, and I will not present my slides because my slides also have some concepts like Mayank presented. So maybe what I will do is a little bit differently. I'll share the practical case studies that we have done in our organization, what has been done differently. Hope that's fine with all of you. Only one small thought I have. I will not take it completely, but maybe this is one slide that actually is the core of finance, and we believe this in our organization. If you have heard of Japanese concept of ikigai, if you can raise, or you want me to explain, I'll just explain in simple terms. What it is all about is where your passion. There are 4 circles that are defined. I would request you to please Google. Wonderful concept. Where your passion, where your profession, where your mission and vision. All of these intersect. That is what is moksha, like satisfaction, or it is the soul. So for finance, how you would get the soul is you have business partnering, what Mayank spoke about. Then you have your yardstick. Yardstick is all about your reporting. You are ready with your numbers, you report for your financials, you report to your business teams, you report for various other purposes. And the next is your conscience keeper. Is assurance in place? Am I ensuring, because I am the last man standing out there. So am I ensuring that everything has gone as per whatever rules, laws and regulations that are applicable to respective organizations. So something intersection of this that's adding value is where actually is the whole finance part of the way, the whole piece. And while you do this in your journey, please keep this, and when you work across these 3, the circles, you will find that you are doing a great job. That's the essence of the slide. But more than this, I'm not going to any other slide. 2-3 things that I take from previous discussion is, as CFOs, yes, we have to be chief value officer. What I've understood in my journey is also 2 decades, more than that experience across all the verticals of finance, and more in Dr.Reddy's. That's more than 18 years in Dr.Reddy's. One thing I've understood basically from finance, the expectation is dil mange more. For a business guy, finance is one person who is very integral. Integrity is to his heart, and for business guy it is very easy to come to him. He is sincere, he is authentic, and he will do shop floor work, the dance floor view. They will do transaction, they will do all those crunching, everything. And for that's the reason what I understood the way Mayank was explaining, the value add has happened, because for CEO it is dil mange more. Now who is the guy I have to go to? CFO. He will do everything for me. And that definitely is a good opportunity for finance guys, because tomorrow if you have also an aspiration of dil mange more, for many of us, if you want to become CEOs, it's an excellent opportunity. If you want to become CFOs, excellent opportunity. If you want to become partners, start your business, because finance is a role that gives you this opportunity to get to things, understand what's happening. So from recent instances, I am sharing what has been done very differently in our organization. One definitely is the geopolitical situation that got impacted by every organization. So how finance played a different role. What was spoken is we have to do all of this, but how it can be done. I'm speaking the how part of it. What and why part is covered. So as an organization, we are very prominent in Russia. We have more than 10% of our sales coming from Russia, and more than that coming from our CIS countries actually. So definitely before that, I'm speaking of story in Feb, before the war started, I made treasury hat, I also wear the enterprise risk management hat. So definitely the sixth sense is always there. Every day the news I'm reading, our team is reading, going going through what's going to happen, how are we going, and anxious movements, I'll tell you. When we speak to our business guys, they were saying we don't think war will happen. For some people, understanding will Putin do war, not do, because we hedge. That is one thing. Second, there are people who are working for us in Ukraine also. There's a team of around good people working there. So third is all about our goods repatriation, our sales and money, the goods movement. The fourth is money movement. So all of these actually were playing at the back of mind. And I would say for me, Feb 3rd week was very, very tense moment. Because the war would happen or not happen, we don't know. I went and presented it to our CFO, group CFO, and to our global CEO that we should hedge. And we should hedge, and I think we should do this because if we do not do, the things would fall very drastically. But actually what I wanted to share as an experience is, as a finance guy, whenever you have your sixth sense speaking, please work on that and take a decision. That is what is my experience I want to share. Because we took a decision to hedge, and immediately after a week the war started. And Google came, roller coaster drive for Google, came down till 0.5. We hedged at a good rate of 0.94 at that time. It came till 0.5. Protected ourselves actually. Had we not hedged, you can think I would not have been in this organization. I'm just sharing a consequence of that, what would have been done. So what my learning from this conversation I want to share is, take calls. Take decisions, take calls, take risks. That is important as a finance person. We have to do that. And align with your seniors. That is equally very important. Align them because you will require them to protect you. But what importantly, I think the piece of risk management that was spoken, what as a finance team we have done differently is, we called all the leaders from these regions, our business heads, country heads, and HR, supply chain folks, and finance folks. So this was a team that was formed, and we called their test business continuity plan, Russia-Ukraine. Simple. And then the simple, what four things we discussed there. First was people safety. Please, it was driven by our CEO, global CEO. How are you ensuring people are safe? So what was the role of finance? We were coordinating and driving this whole piece. We spoke to HR guys, we kept them saying, what are you doing? They work. Naturally, everyone is a stakeholder who is important, and they are working their journey. HR, for them it is important to ensure people safety, and they are doing their job. So anything we collaborated that piece and ensured yes, things are in place for our employees, specifically in these regions. All part of supply chain, because there were sanctions, there were embargo, all of you are aware. How would we supply food and material? So that coordinations with them, and they telling the challenges and getting approvals on the table. That was one piece. Third was the money movement piece. Wherever money movement really becomes a challenge and there are sanctions, you see organizations go back, banks tell you that we don't work. So there's a lot of homework, alternative banks understanding what we can do differently, how we repatriate, can we reduce our working cycle. These are few things that finance can work around as a whole piece. And then finally is your forex piece, which I already spoke about, hedging. So this is the summary of a case study that I thought is very relevant, very well, I think executed, appreciated by the senior management, and we are doing it till today. Now the frequency has reduced. It was a weekly frequency, then we moved to fortnightly. Today it has become monthly. But we also, what we started was one more journey is China. China for a pharma industry is very important, and for many of the industries it is important. Tomorrow if something borders becomes challenges or zero COVID policy, you have seen the implications of that. So this is one area which if you feel in your organization that is there, you can pick up. That is from an innovation was very different usually what finance doesn't do. The second case study that I can share is from again from an assurance perspective. Very differently we played it. That is what is the role we ensured there is zero surprises across the organization. What does that mean? Any rule, any law, any regulation that is applicable to the organization. So be it related to finance, be it related to employee, be it related to business and marketing compliance, be it related to cyber security, be it data privacy, be it related, we are in pharma, quality is very important, we are guided by FDA regulations, be it related to pharmacovigilance, be it related to employees data access, anything. So what in a simple format we called it ABCD PQRS. All regulations we put as an acronym. Every regulation we went and spoke to the assurance head. You tell us what are your key risk indicators that are lead indicators, what could go wrong, key risk indicators, what could go wrong, 2, 3 pick up, lag indicators pick up 2, 3, and we call it in assurance forum, we call it integrated assurance forum. How it is structured? We call all the assurance leaders, be it your cyber security head, be it your HR head, be it your quality head, regulatory head, your legal head, compliance head, your internal audit, risk manager, all of these with your CFO, with your CEO, with your chairman, because chairman also is interested in these kind of interactions, very relevant for them to be here. And the way what we have done is we collated what are major, we would ask everyone across these indicators, now tell us what are the major gaps for us, and a gap that is major, what is a quick action on the table to resolve it out. Quick action, and this is driven not by finance guys, finance is doing all of this, but the owner of that action is there to present and tell that I am closing it this way. Lot of outcomes that would come from example, many of your assurance processes get digitized, that is first outcome. Many of your assurance gaps that are there on the table, many times we as finance leaders think he's not closing it, I am explaining he's not doing it, he's not understanding the implication of this. Many of those conversations do not happen because he is presenting, the sales guy will present whether I am doing business compliance or not. If you see a gap, you have to just present there and tell him what you are doing, please come and present here. And also align with compliance team for to drive that, but the story becomes very different, the outcomes are very different. It leads to actually very fast solution orientation, it leads to driving the business at least from the governance. See, ESG is a very hot topic for all of us, and G piece is the CFO's hat or the finance hat. So the governance piece very well get driven through this. The third important outcome is the board of directors are pretty happy about it, because and your CXOs, the reason is nothing gets slipped out. What is a beautiful story, and this journey is improving for us day by day, but the beautiful story here is you actually get that assurance also as a CFO or as a finance head, yes, nothing is going wrong in my business. If something is going, I know what is going wrong. And definitely there would be things going wrong, but there would be mitigations, and you would also drive and know what mitigations, how you are driving that. So this is the second case study I thought I'll share. Maybe if time permits, only I would want to just touch upon the third piece on, the third piece is on the piece of finance heart. See, the way I have seen my journey also, and my lessons of my journey, I would say. So what as finance guys, the challenges as a finance guy that I have also sensed, and the learnings I have, and I use my, sometimes I like the movie Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. I really like that, the poem of that, the spirit of that, moving out of comfort zone of that movie, very inspirational. I like watching it again and again, and I get inspired by it. So when I look at that movie, actually, you know that bull run that happens in that movie, I feel like that sometimes we are finance guys, when we are hit like that only we learn. That's some one big learning we have. We are usually authentic individual, and we work on the ground, but many times what is required, we require very important, because if I have done something, I don't know how to communicate that to the senior guys or how to make a big picture story. So that is one big learning for me. I don't know, maybe for many of you, but please work on that. That's very big learning. A piece that what story you will communicate to what person. That is the big picture. The second piece that we as finance guys miss out is people leadership, because people leadership should be passion naturally to make your team and motivate, inspire and make things happen. But we as finance guys are pretty the way we do our appraisals also. We do our appraisals and then tell our team this is not happening right. It is like crunching of numbers, I'm telling you. We do that way. I have also done it, it's not that. But that people leadership and passion, when I look at my HR team, when I look at my marketing team, I feel we are delivering so much more than them, but see the vibes they carry sometimes. They deliver less, but the vibe is something big like this. So this is one piece that I felt. People leadership is very, very important, and that's one area which will lead to innovation, which will lead to value add, that we have to get to inspire and work on ourselves. The third piece that, and this is my last part of my conversation, the third piece is I have learned is empathy. This also I have learned like bull run only. I'm just sharing. Where people told me, I understood, empathy. Empathy is more to understand what other person requires actually. And it is a journey, you will not learn it over a day. I am also learning it over a period of time. Many times still I flow in that my finance left brain, yes this is right, this is not right, I put my foot down. But what is beautiful, the journey is become flexible, become agile. Learn to speak your stories differently. Please understand other person. I am also in part of that journey, and I feel empathy is so important in our piece of journey. Actually, all of us do many things rightly, but the way we speak, the way we empathize may not be there on the table. So this is the summary of my conversation. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Seema. Any questions?
In the first place, why were you not hedging your cash flows? You said you realized that we have to hedge now.
Okay, so what is our policy? Our policy is we hedge up to some X percentage. Okay, 0 to 60 is our policy. We hedge from 0 to 60 in dollar. And in case of emerging market currencies, we have a policy of hedging around 30-40%. That is our policy, we do that. But here we wanted to cross our policy. We wanted to do more and ensure we take approvals and do that. So that is.
Thank you so much.
But those were very anxious moments for me. Nothing to hide, but I know the anxiety I go through doing that.
Anyone else? Anyone else?
So is with Mayank. It's not a question, it's about the approach what the CFOs are having, because 90% of the CFOs are CAs. And unfortunately, when we are doing our courses, we are not being taught how to have better interpersonal skills, better communication skills, or how to communicate when we are there. Because we don't have any presentations when we do our CA courses. So this is, I think, the foundation of the CFOs or the CAs per se should be built right from the institute. So I guess when we are coming to a forum per se of a CFO and we make a forum and approach the institute to have something so that the next generation, what will be coming for us, can help us out, like can develop on the interpersonal skills or the communication skills and can like empathize. Because that's what I have seen. My CFO was an MBA, fortunately. So I saw the kind of appraisals he did, the kind of interpersonal skills he had, the communication skills he had, and he introduced me to all those multi-lags. So I was majorly into finance. So he introduced me to multi-lags, and I was dealing with the PSU banks. Because that's what the level is actually. So I believe, yes, as the community we grow, definitely we will see a lot more things.
I agree. What I also feel, one thing just to add what you're saying, Not only I think this is relevant during CA time, but also during school. As parents also, we as parents also have to ensure this part of journey for children, the piece of empathy and interpersonal can start from our home, from our actually families. That is so relevant, and our school education also should take care of this. Many of them actually have changed. The current generation that I see is very different, and their thought process and the approach is very, I would say very agile, very unique. As you will not be able to match the way they think, the way they look at things, the way they are. But definitely it should be included in CA curriculum, and I also feel that it should be part of the school curriculum. It's so relevant, so relevant.
Just want to make one point. I think you put a very relevant thing, and I was just discussing with my US folks. If you see in US, it's like a CPA is pure accounting, right? Now, thankfully till now, in India, CAs are considered to become a CFO, right? But if we don't change the way we learn things, it is very near that the chartered accountants are more about controllership, the audits and stuff like that, and then the CFO is like more coming from the MBAs or the finance and all that. So very relevant point. The only piece is yes, we should, and I know that the institute is also working upon towards that, but that's long term. For us, we need to do whatever we want to improvise because we have to, right? So I think just want to make that point very relevant, and I can clearly see the way US, the clear segregation, it is coming to India as well. Thanks for it.
One part of learning that I can add to this, what you are saying, for all of us, because for CS, yes, ma'am is in long term. Go for your passion actually. That really helps out. Suppose you're good at running, you're good at drawing, or you're good at trekking, or you're good at dance, or anything. Your passion or art actually helps you become flexible and agile. It also influences your professional part. Yoga, I have seen that help me becoming very flexible. It could be anything. You're the right person to decide, but that really, in our part of journey, the way we are, for us to have a quick win in this, look at your right side of your story. What is your passion, creativity you have? Try to work on it. You see the impact of that on your professional life. Thank you.
Once again, Seema, very well done session. I mean, it was very interesting and very on a different tone completely. So it was very interesting. Sir, to add to your comment and to what Mayank has said, Institute has realized they have started something like this. It's just 14 days. I mean, 14 days cannot turn around a person and make him a presentable person like an MBA. But it has to happen at the education level. The course has to be in a classroom. We cannot expect people to study, students to study at home, go for exams after 3 years, 1.5 years, go for internship, articleship, and then compete with the management graduates who are coming from likes of IIMs, ISPs, and etc. etc. So this gap would always be there. Unless and until the institute is very conscious of this fact that we need to have classroom. This has to happen at that level, not after we spend 5, 10, 15, 20 years in our career. On that note, that when you said marketing and other people, yes, they under-deliver, but somehow the hype is so high with them, is probably because we set very high expectations with ourselves as well as with our team. So that's why we are very meticulous in pinpointing what is underachieved and not so meticulous in pinpointing or highlighting what has been achieved, even if it is 25%. And I'm equally culprit, I'm sure people in the room will agree with me. When I do appraisal for my controller and the team, I will definitely tell them what they've achieved, but I would expect maybe 25% of the time. The 75% of the time, I will tell them what they missed out. So I think there the culture has to change, and we all have to be part of that. Just wanted to add that.
Just wanted to add 2 points. One, in fact, thanks for reminding us. We do need to start celebrating the wins, and and finding the wins rather than always looking at. And so while we might all theoretically know it, it's important to kind of be reminded of it. So thanks for doing that. I'll share a little bit of an experience that I've had good experience with over the last 4-5 years. We've done two things. One, in every organization I've worked, I've led a finance or non-finance managers training session. Second, I've always reached out to HR and said, can we do a soft skills training session for my people? Because it has to work both ways. Once the non-finance people start understanding the basics, your job becomes completely easier. And second, yes, you are right, whether it is empathy, whether it is communication, whether it is how do you present yourself, right? That also has to be learned. And I don't think any of us can sit and wait for whether it is the institute or whether it is the schooling system or whatever to do it over the next 10, 15, 20 years. We need those results now. And we've got to own it and we've got to deliver it for ourselves. So again, just wanted to share that small piece. And these are very short sessions, 3 hours, repeated maybe in a different way, 6 months down the line or whatever. But you kind of start seeing the impact. And then people usually run with it, they build with it. The second generation is, I say second generation because now I'm getting old, but the people who came 10 years after me are just so much smarter, so much brighter anyway. You just need to kind of nudge them and show them the path and they kind of lead to the rest. So thank you again, Seema. Very, very good session.